naming and finding measures of central angles, inscribed angles, and arcs of a circle. So in this topic, we're given a diagram of a circle below with some pieces in here, and we need to know what certain pieces mean. So if we review really quickly, because we've done another video where we were talking about radius, diameter, chords. So a radius goes from the center to the side of the circle, and a diameter goes from side to side through the center. So a diameter actually includes 2 radii. Because remember, this is the radii I marked first. It goes from the center to the side. Well, I can also go from the center to the side on this diameter in both directions. So that means every diameter is made up of 2 radii. The other piece there is a chord. A chord goes from side to side just like a diameter, but it doesn't go through the center. So that's what we call a chord. So we have DE is a chord. We also have this small one down here, which is BE. It's going, it's a little hard for me to see if I do it that way, but that's also another chord there. So those are just some of the basic definitions that we've already gone over in one of the other videos. So in the circle below, A is the center, which we've already talked about. Here's our center. So that's our center mark, and here I'll change colors now. And it says BD is a diameter, which we just talked about that being a diameter. And diameter just means it goes from side to side through the center. And then it says arc BC. So this arc that they have marked right here, and they've already got it marked with 110 degrees here. And they want us to use this to fill in the blanks. So it says give an inscribed angle. So, whoops. Sorry, have an alarm going off there. So an inscribed angle just means that it goes, so if we're talking about a circle here, an inscribed angle goes from side all the way to the other side and then back over here like this. So it starts and it creates an arc here, but it goes all the way to the other side. Now it doesn't have to necessarily go all the way to the other side. I can have one that does something like this where it kind of goes like that. Here's its arc, and I know this is a horrible circle, but here's the arc and here's the side it's touching. So basically it's touching a side. If we want a central angle, which they will ask us about eventually here. So a central angle means that here's my center and my central angle is going to the center. So it's not going all the way to the side of the circle, it's going to the center of the circle. So again, that's just a bit more vocabulary that we've already gone over for circles. Okay, so to give an inscribed angle, we need to find an angle that's going, it's starting on the circle like this, and it's going all the way to a side. So it's got its vertex touching the other side of the circle, or a side of the circle. I keep saying the other side, but that's not necessarily important. So this one, I go angle, and I follow the points. So E, D, B. I can also go backwards, so it could also be B, D, E, as long as D is in the middle, because that's the vertex. So D has to be in the middle there, and then E and B are the other 2 endpoints of the angle. All right, a minor arc. So these are a couple more definitions we need to cover. So we have an arc, and I've already said that a couple of times, like EB is actually creating this arc here. It's a piece of the circle that's in between 2 endpoints. So a minor arc and a major arc, and I'm going to, because whenever you have these blue words, you can click on them and it will give you the definition. So I want to make sure we know that. So this really quickly gives us the definition for major and minor arc. So a major arc means that it's the larger arc. It's taking up the majority of the circle. A minor arc means it's the small portion. So there's generally 2 arcs that are created. So if I go through here and I draw this, so I'm going to draw an angle like this. This is considered a minor arc in between these 2. So this red line. The major arc would be the rest of the circle out here that kind of looks like packing a little bit out here. So that's just what they're calling major and minor arcs. So if I scroll down here, well, let me see the rest of the definition. There we go. So it doesn't really give you any more information down here. There is not necessarily a measurement that goes with major and minor arc. All it is it has to do with the small arc and the large arc. Think of it that way. So a minor arc, and I turned my pen off here, so my first one disappeared. It's just this is an extension for Google Chrome. It's called Page Marker. It's pretty darn cool. You can mark on almost any internet page you want. It just doesn't stay there. It's not permanent. But it is pretty cool for working problems out. All right, so a minor arc, I could do EB. So EB, and I put B, sorry, and you put an arc over it like this to show that it's an arc. Or I could even go BC, because BC would be a minor arc if I'm thinking of the rest of this all the way around here. This is the major arc. So this could be a minor arc. DC could also be another one, because I could, let's see if I go over here. DC would be my minor arc, and then the rest of this going all the way around. So now I would loop all the way around like this. So minor arc just means the small arcs that's created. So there's actually a couple options on this one. A semicircle. So a semicircle is created by a diameter. So you need the diameter in order to make that work. Gotta bring my pen tool back over here. So here's my diameter. A semicircle is created by the arc from the semicircle, like that. So I would have arc BCD. BCD. And I'm using 3 because if I just say BD, I could be going either direction. So BCD tells me specifically I'm going to the right here. If I wanted to go to the left, I would go BED, so that it tells my the person reading it which arc I'm actually talking about. Okay, let's scroll down here really quick, just so that we can see what they're doing. And I had that notepad open for notes, but I don't know how many notes we're going to write down, because a lot of this is definitions. And we've been using circles now for this week. We may have started them last week for some of this. So it's really just about knowing your definitions. If you don't know your definitions, I definitely suggest you take a moment, write them all down, take some notes on all this so that you remember what all of these pieces are. Because we have radius, we have diameter, we have chord, now we have arc, and there's a minor arc and a major arc. We have a semicircle, inscribed angle, center angle. So there's a lot of words that go with a circle. We need to know what all of these mean. And if you missed any of that, just rewind and go back to the beginning, rewatch it, and make sure you understand what all these pieces mean, or it's going to be very difficult for you to move forward on this one. So if we scroll down, we can see they highlighted the same one here for inscribed angle, because that's the only inscribed angle in this diagram. And then they went through, so they're highlighting the major arc in green instead of blue for whatever reason. So they actually picked BC as their minor arc, which is fine. There's a couple of options on that. And then BED, so they went left for BED, so that's actually what their green one was here. I thought they were showing the major arc, but the major arc actually would have gone all the way over here to C. So BED, this is them showing their semicircle. So remember, it's either going to be the left side here or the right side. We just look at the diameter, and the diameter splits the circle into 2 halves, and then we get 2 arcs from that. Let's see. The last one here, so E and D. So then we have to go through and we have to start finding measurements. So it asks us to find arc BCD, and you can, does it ask for BCD? It does, BCD. So BCD is this one that they've marked in red here. Well, this was a semicircle. Remember, we divided this. Here's our diameter, and this was my semicircle. And if you remember back from when we were dealing with lines, if we go all the way around a circle, I know that's a horrible circle there. We have 360 degrees all the way around. But if I only go halfway around, so if I start here and I stop right there, so that's halfway around the circle, that's 180 degrees. So this is just remembering some bits from circles and even lines when we were dealing with lines earlier in the chapter here. So if we know that a line is 180 degrees, well, then we know arc BCD has to be 180 degrees. It's a semicircle. Whenever you have a semicircle, it's 180 degrees. That's a guarantee. Then they ask us to find BAC. So BAC is right here, and they've marked this in red here. When we have a central angle, this is another note that we've written from another video. So we've already learned this on another topic. Central angles have the same measurement as their arcs. So if we know this one is 110, then the angle is 110. And another note that we've learned on one, if they asked us for the inscribed angle here that we did, I'm going to scroll up here. So this one in red that they've marked, the very first answer we gave, if they wanted to know what this angle was in here, we would need to know the arc, and we would divide the arc by 2 to get to the angle, which works backwards too. If you have the angle and they want the arc, you multiply by 2 to get out here. So that's another one we've dealt with. I want to say that might have been this week when we learned about inscribed angles and central angles. Okay, so that was a whole lot of information, kind of a recap on a lot of things. So let's go ahead and start this and start using some of this information. So we have F is the center below. So I forgot to click the pen tool. So here's our center. I'm going to change my colors up here. GI is a diameter. So I'm going to mark this in red because this is our diameter. Okay. And then we have angle. That makes this a little smaller so I can write in here. Angle GFH. So this angle here, sorry that I've marked out in pink. So GFH, I just followed along. So there's an angle here, and they've already marked it for us with 100. So this was our given information. And I'll show you, I marked that in pink there. So we're going to go through and find some of our other information, or find some of the other pieces that we need here. So give a central angle. Remember, central angle means it's coming from the center. So I need to go from the center point, and I need an angle that goes straight out to the end. So I can do this one here, which is HFI, and I apologize, I know that's really light and hard to read. Let me darken that up a little bit. HFI. So that would be angle HFI. Or I can actually use the angle that they gave us here, because that goes to the center. So that could actually be my answer. That's perfectly fine. So I have 2 different answers that I could do here. Once we get into geometry and naming some of the parts, we generally have more than one answer. So I'm going to go ahead and go with HFI since that's not the one they gave us. All right, and then let's go down here. I'm going to go with orange for whatever reason. It's a kind of ugly orange. Let's brighten it up. All right, so a major arc. So let's look at this angle we just talked about. Here's the arc it creates for HFI. So the major arc, which, let's see, can I do that in kind of an ugly yellow? I don't know if you can tell the difference between the yellow and the orange there. Would be everything around. So I start at the end of my arc, the orange part, and I go all the way around to the other end point here. This is the major arc. So I want to go I, J, H. I want I and H to be the beginning and the end. So it has to be I and H. I have to put something in the middle, only one letter. We only need 3 letters here. So I just pick either J or G. I'm just going to go ahead and go with J, and then we put an arc over it, and they already put that in there for us. We don't have to worry about clicking on arc. So I, J, H. And then we want a minor arc. So we actually already talked about a minor arc. The orange part I marked here for this angle is a minor arc. So minor means when you're looking at an angle, remember the arcs are what's created in between that rounded portion. The angle creates a minor arc, and then everything around it is the major arc. So I'm going to go with HI on that one because I've already marked it. Okay, so let's clear this out really quick, just so that we can start finding some of this other stuff because it gets to be a little bit too cluttered. So we want to find arc G, J, H. So I want, all the way around H like this. So I want G, J, H. So I want this major arc here. I'm going to need to kind of dig back down into my definitions there and think about some of the stuff we talked about on the last page. I'm going to look at this central angle right here because that's what creates the rest of this arc. It completes the arc here. And I'm given some information about that arc. This is a central angle. If it's 100 degrees, the arc is 100 degrees. So I know what my minor arc is. All the way around a circle is 360 degrees. So if I know that all the way around is 360, and this blue portion here, which I don't want, is 100, I can just simply subtract, and I get 260. So my major arc there is 260 degrees. All right, let's go ahead and clear that one more time. And we're going to find GH. Oh, look at that. We already found GH, didn't we? That was the one we were just talking about. The central angle is 100, so the arc is 100. All right, let's go ahead and check that. And we're good to go. Next one. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to go through an inscribed angle. So inscribed, make sure that means it has endpoints on the circle itself. And the vertex is also on the circle itself. It doesn't go to the center. So we wouldn't grab this one here because that's going to the center. I don't want that one. That's a central angle. So I'm going to clear that out. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to look at this one. So this one goes all the way here, and then it goes like this. So that's an inscribed angle. That works. WXY. So I went WXY. Can I also go backwards? Of course. You can go YXW. As long as the beginning and the end are the endpoints that begin and end the angle. And then I wanted to also look. So this one we have WXV. Can that be an inscribed angle? Of course it can. So we have WXV, or again, I can go VXW. Just because it's using a diameter doesn't mean that's not inscribed. So I actually have 4 different options because I can use the 2 I put here, or I can go backwards. So again, couple answers. Darn it, didn't mean to click that button. Let's close that. That creates a screenshot, and I didn't mean to do that. All right, so I'm going to go with the first one I wrote down here. Ooh, my alarms are going crazy here. All right, WXY. So now let's go ahead and look at semicircle. So we have a semicircle. Semicircle means I need to find a diameter. So I'm going from side to side through the center. And then I'm just going to kind of jump. I'm going to complete the arc that it creates. So I have XWV from my arc. Can I go backwards and go VWX? Of course you can. The other one you could do, because I went across the top, I could also go across the bottom. Why didn't I change my color here? I wanted to change to blue here just so you could see I was doing a different one. Like this. So I have X, Y, V. I apologize. I'm covering up the letters. I'll get rid of that in a minute. So I can go X, Y, V, or V, Y, X. I can go forwards or backwards. I just need 3 letters so that I know. If I just say X, Y like this, well, which way are you going? Which arc are you talking about? Are you talking about X, Y this way or X, Y going across the bottom? So that extra letter makes sure that we understand that you're either going across the top or across the bottom. All right, so let's go ahead and do XWV. Whoops, V, not U. I'll clear this out again. All right, we need a major arc. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to look at this angle here. This is one of the given angles they gave us, or the given arcs, which was 80. So this arc is 80. So that's a minor one because that's the arc created by this angle. The major arc is going to be everything else on the circle around. Remember, I want to begin and end with the beginning and the end here. So I want to go WV, but I need something in the middle because I can't just say WV. WV, I could be saying this arc here, WV. I want to make sure it's a major arc going all the way around. So I can either pick X or I could have picked Y. I can type it either way. I can also go backwards. I can say VXW, VYW. Again, 4 different options for your answer. I know that gets a little funky because there's so many options, but it just depends on which one you see first. One is not the only answer. There is more than one answer here. All right, let's look at find. Whoops, gotta click on my pen. So we want angle VUW. So VUW here, which we've actually talked about a little bit here. So they gave us this arc was 80. And this is a central angle because here's the center. It's going to the center. So if I know the arc, I know the angle. It's 80 degrees. Super duper easy on a central angle. The arc and the angle are the same. And that, again, we learned that one on a video. I believe it was called Inscribed and Central Angles of a Circle. I can look up the definition or the the topic video for sure, but I know it was something along those lines. Okay, so let's do this last one. V, Y, W. So I want this arc here. So we've actually already talked about this arc. This is our major arc. And remember, that means that this is the minor arc. The whole thing is 360. I'm already using 80 here for my minor arc. I'm just going to subtract. So I get, and yes, I'm borrowing on here, so I get 8 and 3. So, sorry, 2. I wrote 2 up top and then I brought down 3. That was silly. So 280. 280. Check. Perfect. All right. So the next one, I'm not going to go through quite as detailed. I'm just going to start filling some stuff in here. So I have a central angle. So I'm going to go with GFH. GFH on that one. That's really the only central angle we have here. You can also go HFG. You could go backwards. So there are 2 answers on that one. A minor arc. So I'm going to look at the arc created by the angle I just talked about. So I'm going to go with HG. And then a semicircle. So this one, I'm going to mark this. Semicircle, we look for the diameter. And then we grab the arc it creates like this. So I'm going to go with IHG. Clear. Okay, so let's go ahead and find arc GH here. We have the central angle, because remember, this is the angle that's created. So if I know the central angle, I know the arc. The arc is 75 degrees. And let's look. Now they want GJI. So that doesn't really have anything to do with the central angle we just created, because we're not going all the way around. So we're not going to subtract from 360. But if I notice it's on a diameter, that's the end points here. There is a diameter. So that means that I went halfway around the circle. So that's 180 degrees. All right, so let's go ahead and check that last one. Perfect. All right, we finished another one. Yay.